I had to, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing Run the World, but I had to balance out all the estrogen of last week with some high tech testosterone. So the living legend, Larry, has decided to join us tonight so that these women don't overthrow me with their zeal, with their love for the game of women. Because they ran me over last week like a Mack truck. Boom. Y'all
They
know
think
what
because the show is called Run the World, they run the world.
Because it was Battle of the Sexes last week, so now it's like a 2 for 2.
Exactly. Yeah,
all
yeah.
Right.
I had to even.
You feel like we double teamed you last week?
Man, double team.
Yeah, like
double team ain't the word. You know, it was like taking candy from a baby. What y'all did to me last week. You know what? Some people might even call that little date rape. What y'all did to me last week.
Oh.
Yeah, y'all took full advantage of me last week. But you know what? My brother Larry, the living legend, is in the building, and we have everybody's favorite Nita the Diva. So all you fellas that want to see Neva, she's back. She's here. And for all you Moochie lovers talking about she like a sexy librarian, go fetch me a book. Go and try to check me out and make sure it ain't no late fees.
It on the due date.
Oh, she will charge you late fees. She will charge you late fees.
She sure will. Her late fees is worse than bank interest. So don't be bringing her no books back late.
No, that's right.
So, ladies, before I get to you, let me ask Larry, since you missed last week, brother Larry, how are you feeling about the show to this point?
I have very, very mixed feelings about it because one, it's very fun to watch all these beautiful black women. I mean, they're all gorgeous, and it's fun to see that. But it's probably because of my expectations. I was expecting it to be more like a black Sex in the City. Mm-hmm. And instead, it's reminding me more like a Black Girls, you know?
Okay.
The one with
Queen Latifah, Jada.
No.
Smith.
The one that has, what's the little chubby white chick's name? She had that show set in New York called Girls, and it was like.
Oh, I remember that show. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it ran for like about four seasons or so.
Yeah.
And it reminds me more of that show than it does Sex in the City. I see where they're trying to get the whole Sex in the City vibe, where you have these beautiful black women at different stages of their life and careers, or not life, but different stages of their careers. They're all very fashionable and trendy.
Yeah.
But I found that they are all very self-absorbed and neurotic. You know,
they've got some issues, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, for the most part, lots of people have issues. But the specific issues, two of them have. If I'm gonna put it to you ladies like this, if I was one of these dudes on YouTube who was toxic masculinity, this would be the show I'd be making material off of until they change the script on the story. I'm telling you, because you've got Mrs. Dora Milaje Ella, who has did a 360. She's community P now. And we'll talk about why she's the new community P. But
I see it though. I see where you're going.
Dora Milaje Ella is community P, and then you got one lady who put herself in relationships throughout college, so she never had the time to go and free herself, be wild. And now she's with a strong, for all we know from one episode, a strong black male who happens to be like some African prince, and he's a doctor. And she done went and messed around with community dick, and Moochie said it last week. Moochie said you was not going to be able to get rid of him. I think I said, was this a one-hitter quit? And Moochie specifically said to me, Larry, she was like, nope. Why he going to go? For what? What's the point? Why is he going to go? So
he called her the next day.
I saw that. Yeah, and was texting her while she was at her little event. So, boy, it's getting deep. So let's go ahead and get on into it.
Turn your audio up.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Say something.
Can y'all see me now? Hear me?
Yeah, but you're very low.
Yeah, very low.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta.
We can hear you now.
I think she's gonna make an adjustment.
Okay. So while she's making an adjustment, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you guys the meat and potatoes of the young lady. They put the story around Renee. It was kind of mostly centered around her story. And I've got mixed feelings about the way this thing went down with her and her man. Take a quick look. But she was funny. I ain't going to admit. This whole bit right here was funny to me. I was laughing.
Do you not understand the plight of the black man? Slavery? What are you looking for?
Oh, I'm just looking for where the fuck slavery just came from.
You act like I cheated on you.
You cheated on both of us. You cheated yourself out of a career. You cheated me out of financial stability.
And she goes on to talk about how the man has an MBA, Wharton, and all that. So this is a smart brother and was making a whole lot of money. And some people have even called this chick a gold digger. And I said, you know what? That's a bit too. I said that's a bit too harsh. It's a bit too harsh if you marry someone and you have a certain expectation.
It's not, and I'm going to explain why it's not too harsh. However, when you're in the relationship and someone maybe decides they want to go for life that's quality of life versus just making money for someone, which is what this brother did, I would say that's something that you got to consider. The only thing I got beef with him, before he pulled all that money, he should have definitely talked to her about that. You don't just go take money that you two put together all of a sudden and you go spend it. But we'll get there. And having said that, Nita, since you are back, I'm going to give you the opening scene, and then we'll go to Larry, and then we'll go to Moochie, who always takes notes. They opened this show up with Renee on top of him doing the twirl. And my man really wasn't feeling it. I mean, she kicked him. She put a Shawn Michaels super kick right in his face while she was trying to be super wild and getting it in. Nita, talk about this opening scene and what was you thinking when you saw her trying to do reverse cowgirl, reverse cow style, whatever it was.
Oh my God, I was cracking up from the first scene where it just kind of panned on her face and what she was doing. I was just cracking up. It was hilarious. However, what I'm going to say about Miss Brisha Webb is body yaddy yaddy. She looked good. She looked good up there. She was doing her thing. He could have really just overlooked that kick in the face. Come on, man.
I mean, you get kicked in the face. Getting hit in the face is bad enough. Getting kicked in the face is a whole nother level.
And she looked like she lived too. So that's going to make a little extra. But I think the real issue that was going on, Nita, before I give it to you, Larry, was the fact that they had already been arguing about this transition he's trying to do in his career. And, you know, sometimes you got to have the mood right. And it just don't seem like he was in the mood anyway. So having said that, Larry, I pass the torch to you. Let us know what was going on in this opening scene.
When I saw this, it didn't really seem like they were having sex together. It really seemed more like she was masturbating on top of him. If that makes sense. It seems like she was just using his penis as a sex toy, and just it seemed like even though they were there together, she was having sex by herself. She was fully interested in her, and it was about her. She was up there saying, I was trying to do this whole reverse cowgirl thing without dismounting. It had really nothing to do with him. He was just there. Yeah. And that's not really the way that you should have sex with anybody, but especially not your spouse. And if you do, you should probably have a conversation with them first, saying, look, I just need to get off real quick before I go to work or whatever else, so that person can be like, okay, go ahead and use me and abuse me and then get on. You know?
I was going to say, Larry, there are times when one or the other one need to just get off, the other one ain't in the mood, and you discuss that. You discuss
right. And
Moochie, what is you? What in the? What?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But that's what it is. Sometimes that's the way it is. Sometimes
that's
you know.
It. Yeah.
But in that scene, it didn't seem like she had any real interest in and having sex with her partner or making love with her partner. It was really just, it seemed like a masturbatory scene where she was just basically like, it could have been a silicone version of his penis and it would have been all the same. You know?
Wow.
She was in love with the penis that he had in his pocket, not in his pants. Now, Moochie, it's your turn, but before I let you go, Moochie, I want to shout out my boy Will Lawrence. Came through with the big time super chat. Always comes through with super chat. Love each and every one of you guys on this panel. Big Willie, I appreciate it, my man. Moochie, it is your turn, and we saved the best for last.
I said she was getting hers. I agree with Larry. She was getting hers before she get off and get off to work. She was getting off before she get off to go to work. Oh no, she wasn't going to work. It was on a Saturday, so she was getting hers before she go out and meet with her girls.
You got something else to say, Nita?
I was saying for some reason I don't understand what the argument is. If she's using him as a masturbation thing, he's still getting something out the
exactly.
You know, might not. What if he's not in the mood?
Wow. Wow.
See, what if he's not in the mood? Because there's been plenty of time men has come home from work, the wife done been dealing with the kids all day, done had to clean the house, cook, go to work too. And the man come tapping on that shoulder, you know. And
he didn't say no.
And the woman be like, I got a headache. Oh, my head hurt. Oh God, I got a headache. So I mean, she kicked him and he said no.
That was after the fact. After the kick.
I mean, we don't know if he wanted to do it or not, but because they're married, a lot of people feel obligated to participate and fulfill their partner's sexual, needs because they're married, and so he might have been like, okay, and plus they were already having issues and they were trying. Right. And I think he said, look, we're supposed to be trying. I'm trying here. So he may not have been in the mood, but because he wanted to try, because he actually cared about the relationship and wasn't just getting something out of it, he was actually trying to make that situation work. And she really just seemed like she was all about her in that situation.
Yeah, she was all about the hood in those moments. She just let it out. That's what she did. She was all about that hood, that moment. And
so
this seems like
about getting off. Like
he seems like he's a decent brother with that one fatal mistake I said that he made, but we'll come back to that in a minute. And so now, Larry, you get the first crack at this. Now I died laughing at this too.
Oh God.
This is when the homeless guy rose up on Ella and Homegirl and calls them niggers. And I'm thinking myself,
Harriet Tubman statue. I just caught that.
Yeah, with the Harriet statue.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like, bro, you done this in front of the Harriet Tubman statue. You supposed to be homeless and you got a bicycle. And he cost him a Larry, take the wheel, man. Well, did you get a crack out of this scene?
You know what's funny, right? Is anybody who is an educated, mildly even successful Black person has probably had an experience very similar to this.
Yeah.
And at some point, like there are times when someone may call you that name and you get really mad, but there are other times that you see that happens and all you can do is laugh because it is the most low down, just so far beneath you white person that when they call you that they're thinking this nigga is so fabulous. They're so beautiful. They're so educated. They're so stylish. They're everything that all I can possibly do to try and drag them down and make myself feel elevated is to call them nigger.
And what they don't realize is that when they call you that, they're not calling you that with the ER. They really giving you reference and calling you that with the NGA, but they think they doing it with the NER, and they're doing exactly what Larry said. And it be so pitiful that all you can do is laugh.
That's all you can do is, and it's funny at some point. It's funny. It's just like, wow, that is hilarious. Like, it's like that's it right there. And some of those times where you see it, it's so funny. It's like, I love the way they reacted where she was just like, I think her name's Hope. She was like, I just can't today. I just can't. because it's just so funny and over the top. You're like, there's nothing to say to that. What am I gonna? It's like it's at the point. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna go chase down and get into an argument with a homeless man on a bicycle with trash bags all over it?
I mean, yeah, Moochie, what did you think? How do you feel about this brother disrespecting these black sisters in front of Harriet Tubman?
That's typical New York. I mean,
oh, okay.
I mean, it is homeless people, and they do crazy stuff like that.
Word?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's typical New York. It might not have been a white guy. It depends on the area.
Oh, okay. I took the baby out for a morning walk Sunday downtown Greensboro, and it's a lot of homeless people there because they pass out meals. Our homeless people are very nice. They say, "Hey, young brother, you're gonna raise a fine young lady," is what my homeless people said. But in New York, if I be pushing L, they're gonna call me and L nigger and nigger.
At this time of the year, it'd be a lot. He seemed like he's not in his right frame of mind. And at this time of the year, this is when they let all the crazy people out. They be on the train and everything. Like, I mean, I don't look.
Oh, damn.
Oh my goodness.
And that's Saturday too. And they walking around. He picking up his bottles and acting a fool.
Wow.
You just try not to say too much because you don't know what he have on him.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I thought about that too. I thought about that too. Nita, what'd you think about? What'd you think?
Just like Larry said, they couldn't do nothing but laugh because it was just so out of left field and it was so ridiculous. It was just like, okay. But it was but are we going to talk about that conversation with the eye? Which was that scene?
No, you can go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and do it. Or we can wait till we get in the bar.
Okay.
Okay. We'll do it when we get in the bar. All right. So next scene, we learn a little bit more about Little Miss Whitney, who is a very nice lady. Little Miss Whitney. Now, me, Moochie, and Nita all said she was something with money. We knew that. And we learned that she's a banker. And we also finally get a chance to see her fiance, which is this cat right here. He's a doctor. He's got his family. He's got his African roots, whatever he does. Oh, and wow. we get to see her staff at the job. And there's some big time CEO coming through that's getting ready to put his company on the stock market. That's what the IPO they're talking about. And she wants to go to this event with her husband because his family's coming to town, but she's going to miss it because her boss comes in and says that this IPO CEO won't do no business with no one else but you. Moochie, break down the scene and the introduction of her team, her boss, and her standing up, the African prince, because this story has done something that Larry, I'm sure, likes more than what Lena Waithe has done in 4 years. We've got 3 positive black men in just 2 episodes of 1 season. I know you like that, Larry.
Yeah. It's unfortunate they're all being treated terribly, but...
Hey, man.
They all being treated terribly?
Well, at least this one is.
Yeah, this one is. Yeah.
Okay, well,
because community dick ain't getting treated terribly, but I mean,
well, he is too, but in a different way.
I digress.
With Ola, he wanted her to come to meet his aunts. And she knows she's gonna get grilled. I don't think she was looking forward to it, but she's doing it to satisfy him. She was gonna go to satisfy him, but I think she was worried more about her co-worker getting credit for the deal if it's made.
Right. Okay.
So she's basically putting her career first. And I think she's just used to that. She's like a career-orientated woman.
Okay. Nita, what was your perception of this opening scene with Whitney?
Well, my thing was I felt like she didn't really have a choice in the matter. To me, that's what it felt like. It felt like the boss was like, no, you got to do this. And I think if she would have just been forthcoming with the fiance, I think it would have went over better. But I just don't understand what is the point of all that lying. It's just like,
yeah, I didn't get that either.
And I
Because
thought the husband was really cute.
you felt like the husband was what?
He's really cute, and she's doing him dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And it wouldn't even matter if he was butt ugly like Flavor Flav. He's still getting done dirty. Larry, I pass it to you, my brother. Speak for the brothers, Larry. Go ahead and drop that knowledge on us.
Yeah, so first of all, she handled this in every possible wrong way that you could. And I don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't sympathize and empathize with her over this, because we have all been in situations where we had personal stuff that we wanted or needed to do, and our jobs have required us to go ahead and set those things aside. What you don't do is BS your loved ones and make it seem like you can still make it to something that you clearly cannot.
Right.
But in this situation, because she was supposed to take this guy out for a good time on the town and have fun and go out, she could have easily have said, you know what? I have some engagement stuff I have to take care of. So guess what? You're coming with me. You're about to come meet the fam. And then after they've done that, the aunts and the aunts and his mother and the grandmothers and all of them could have been like, oh, she's so professional. She even brings her work around because she doesn't want to miss out and blah, blah, blah. And then after she did all that, she could have said, okay, honey, I have to go. I got to go handle business. And she could have been off on their way. They could have gone and went to the club and had drinks and did everything else. Instead, she did everything as wrong can get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that, my brother. I don't know why you see this happen over and over again. Something that could really not be a big issue becomes a big issue because someone either lies or kicks the can down the road, or they're basically doing what Emmett Daddy did the other day. Emmett Daddy told his homeboy he was in the car on the way, and his ass is in there trying to get a sandwich that ain't even made yet. And she could have easily said, look, honey, I'm gonna be late. I've got some issues, blah, blah, blah. And homeboy, the guy that's doing the IPO basically was trying to tell her, I'm married. I'm getting there. I'm about to get on the horse. So let me back up real quick. We'll get there. So now we're gonna go to the club, y'all. We're going to a day club because Renee is in her feelings about what's going on with her husband. She's married to this guy. But while we in the club, she done met up with Dora Milaje right here, Ella, and the rest of the crew. The one with the glasses on, what's her name?
Sandy.
Okay, Fondi.
Sandy.
What's her name?
Sandy.
Sandy?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Sandy.
Sondi.
Sandy is talking about pleasuring her man. And Nita, you get this one first. It's your turn. Oh boy. And she's talking about trying to stimulate the area between a man's prostate area and his anus. And he passed gas in her face. You know what I got to say, Nita? If you're going to have your nose down there, you run the risk of getting poop on it. But Nita, take it away. Enlighten me on this whole conversation and how it was going down in this club scene.
Okay, so when she was walking the first time, she was basically just trying to keep it cute and classy, talking about she looked like a Hollywood star because of the glasses. Now we find out that not only you wearing these glasses because you got the pink eye. Did I say the stink eye? Oh my God, I was screaming. I don't know.
I was laughing too because they didn't even know what the part was called.
It's called the taint. That's
The taint.
Don't ask me.
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh my goodness! I'm glad we all grown folks up here.
You know, you're gonna act like you don't know what the taint is.
Yeah, the taint. Oh goodness!
Hilarious! I was dying laughing.
I feel you, Big Larry. What'd you think about that scene? When they done got in the club, they exchanging jollies until they get to the point where Renee wants to spill her guts and drown her sorrows.
Man, I thought this was actually a a pretty cool scene. In part because of the whole stank eye thing. That was just funny, you know.
Mhm.
But also the way when what's her name? What's the chick's name? The one that's supposed to be getting a divorce.
Renee.
I don't know why I'm looking at this thing. They have all these different names on this my IMDb. They're all the wrong names. But when I was when she's saying I'm getting divorced, they kind of all just say again, like they've heard this before, and they're like, whatever, you know. They're like, what did he do this time? You know, because apparently it's happened so many times, and the things that he's done have been so ridiculous. They were like, what did he do this time? Leave black socks on the floor, you know?
Right.
So it was kind of, it was sort of ridiculous that she's thinking about getting a divorce right now. But at the same time, it's also very funny that her friends know her so well that they're just like, okay, go ahead and vent. You'll be all right. You're not getting a divorce.
Exactly. And so, big time Moochie, I want you to break down the scene, but also talk about how Little Miss Dora Milaje was questioning what it's like to have sex with a white guy. And because, you know, Little Miss Dora Milaje is thirsty as hell, she looking at the bartender, Rico Suave. What? Talk to me, my sister.
Look, she about to be key lock number 2. She about to be key lock number 2. It's like
I told you, Moochie, she community P. She's that
I
community
hope not.
P.
I think she's just right now. She's like, I don't want to give it up to my ex, so I'm just gonna do this in the meantime. That's where she is right now.
Okay. But do you feel like that's a good way to get over your ex? Because you can get yourself hurt doing that.
Well, I don't think it's a good idea, but I don't think she was putting her feelings into either one of the two that she was with.
Nah.
I'll tell you one thing. I had a problem with this scene right here. And it's not just the fact that this dude was white. Mm-hmm. You know, that's not really the issue. But the problem I have is the way oftentimes black women have two really distinct, fucked up different standards for black men and white men. Because if a brother had stepped to her and he did not have his shit all the way together on lock, she would have not have given him the time of day. But instead, she's going home to fuck a white dude with greasy hair who rides a motherfucking motor scooter and is a bartender.
And calls her
and having your shit together as you possibly could be.
And calls a penis a cock.
She was with the Asian guy the week before, though.
Yeah, but at least the Asian dude was legit. At least the Asian dude had a job. He was in there. He had been in the music business for a while, and he was up there, you know, in marketing and doing his thing. He was actually at least doing something. This dude was a freaking bartender who rides a moped. And she's up there.
I think she was taken back once she got outside and saw she had to put that helmet on her head.
She wasn't taken back too far when she sort of laughed and kissed him and went home and let him inside of her. But That's my point, is that if this had been a black dude, she would have been like, oh, hell no.
No, she would have let a very wealthy black dude get away with that, or some thug dude get away with that. Regular Joe Blow.
But that's my point. If it had been a regular dude, if it had been some black dude, but first of all, if it was a black dude who was a bartender, she would have never have left with him. And then if she went outside and the dude had a motor scooter, she would have been like, nah, son, I'm out.
Right. I don't know, Larry. I don't know, Larry.
I don't think she discriminates.
Look. Well, we have yet to see her mess around with a brother.
Her ex was a brother.
He was, but since the ex, now she's trying to drown her sorrows in vanilla chocolate all over the place.
Yeah. She's basically going for anything else. Uh-huh. She's running around like she's real tragic.
So she goes home with Colin. Lisa's bed wasn't on the floor.
Oh my God. Yeah. Man, I'm moving right along. Larry, it's your turn. It's your turn to go first, Larry. Lord help me. Boy, that Mooch be remembering everything. So, Larry, we back with Whitney. Whitney is out here, helping to get this guy to go over the top with his company in the IPO. And he trusts Whitney with everything, Larry. When I say he trusts Whitney, if you didn't know that he was gay, you would think he had a crush on Whitney because he trusts Whitney with everything. And while they're getting everything together, I started noticing that this guy right here, her coworker, he seems to have a thing for this guy a little bit. I start feeling that vibe. But while Whitney is trying to get this thing hammered out, she's getting a text from her man again. Just saying, where are you? This is more than a little late. And Whitney hasn't responded. Big Larry, drop some light on this subject because it's very dark in here right now.
Yeah, this dude, the thing that's messed up about this thing is that this dude, he didn't really even need anything business-wise.
No,
He basically just wanted to come and hang out and get away from his spouse. He just wanted to get away from his husband.
Yep.
And in doing so, he jeopardized her relationship. Well, I should take that back. She jeopardized her own relationship and allowed him to be the person to let that happen. But he basically didn't need anything. He just needed, it's sort of sad because it was almost like, okay, I need friends to hang out with and I don't have any. So I'm going to come into town and get away and act like I'm on business. And then the dude over there, I don't think he's gay. I think he's gay for pay. Like, I think he would sleep with a man, a woman, or anybody else if he thought it was going to help advance his career. I don't think he really cares I don't think he cares if it's a guy or a girl. I don't think he's gay, quote unquote gay. I think he's just gay for play.
He's polyamorous when he needs to make money, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think he's just, maybe he's I don't know, trisexual. He'll try whatever. I don't know.
Okay, I like that. I'll try whatever. Moochie, what did you think about this scene? I know you got your notebook ready.
I agree with Larry. He's going along to get along.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when she could have left right here.
Yep.
She could have left right here because basically the deal was settled. She went the second step and went to when she went to the club with them. That's where she messed up because she could have cut everything short right here and be like, "Look, all right, so since this is all closed out." She could have left from there. Mm-hmm. But she's so worried about this guy that she didn't she's so worried about her coworker getting credit for it. That's why she stayed around.
I don't think she's worried about him getting credit. It's more so him mucking it up.
Right. And homeboy right here don't really care for everybody else that came with her. He only really care about her, to be honest with you.
Right.
So that made it tough. So Nita, finish us out on this scene.
Oh, I pretty much agree with Moochie. She had an out, and she just had some poor choices in this whole episode to me. Just poor choices, and she messing up. She messing up a lot. So you don't let them bring them on over here.
Oh my Lord! Let's see. You in it to win it. That's what she in it to win it. Oh God, nobody. All right, Mooch. We coming to you now, man. This when it's a 30-minute series, you can actually get through this thing and not have to sweat bullets. I might can have 5 people up here if we can do 30-minute shows because you can get through it. So Moochie, this is the scene that we opened up with the clip, and I love this scene because it highlights dynamics that go on in relationships that oftentimes make me wonder. You hear women saying there ain't no good brothers out there. And you've got one right here who has a Wharton. He went to Wharton School of Business, has an MBA, had a 6-figure job, and decided that, you know what, quality of life was more important to him. So he wants to run the band than it was making all that money. And you got this chick who had I'm not going to say she's a gold digger, but she came off like she could possibly be a gold digger. And when he tells her, look, you don't understand the plight of a black man. Now, that was a stretch. And her ass goes looking for slavery. And I'm thinking to myself, chick, that was a little dramatic. You know, ain't no slavery in there with your Vizzy drinks and your whipped cream. And I'm surprised she ain't have whipped cream in the bed. And then they get on to the section where they're talking about this Moochie. This way he messed up because you can't do this. Mm-hmm. Whatever savings they had in a mutual fund, and I don't know how much it was because they didn't say, but this was savings that they both put together. He went and took it without talking to her. Break it down for us, Moochie.
She felt betrayed at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
She felt betrayed, and I feel like that was wrong with what he did. And that was anything with finances, it should be discussed. Mm-hmm. And he's saying our money. So if it's our money, why didn't you tell me what you were doing?
Well, you know why he wasn't
gonna get the right. You know you wasn't gonna get the answer that you wanted. That's why.
Right. So Moochie, considering she felt betrayed, you don't think he feels betrayed that she doesn't want to support him in this new career he's trying to put together? Not saying that he should have took the money. Forget the money. I'm just meaning leading up to this point before he took the money.
I feel like she has been supporting him. She's basically the breadwinner at this point. And she was all right with that. But you got to look at what is on their plate right now. They got that.
Not all right with
she
that.
already said it was over the budget that they moved in. Like, it's everything financially is on her, basically. And she stressed that when she was talking to her girls. Mm-hmm. So that's like, you know, where they living and how much as far as that apartment. Mm-hmm. She bought that up. And then for him to take money, if something goes wrong, they don't even have anything to fall back on because he's not making the money like he's doing if something happens. I would be pissed off too.
You know what they can fall back on, Moochie? You can't take that MBA away from him. He can always go back to work.
Yeah, well, that's what I feel like how you take this without, you know, you don't even have a game plan. Like, okay, he's not even saying, okay, if this band thing doesn't work out by like a deadline date, then I'm going to go back to work. He's not even doing that. He's just like, I want you to just see my dream and let it work. He didn't plan this out.
Don't that remind you of acrimony? Like with Tyler Perry did.
It's your turn anyway, Nita. Go ahead.
For that movie, yeah, but that was different.
I know. Well, the thing is that we don't know how long this has been. You know, that's what I was curious to know. You know, right. I can let you float for, you know, whatever. So maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, something like that. But at the same time, we paying off your student loans. When I say we, I mean me. He blew it for me. He stole the money. He took the money. And you're not even getting a return on your investment. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, where's
you taking care of this band? He's basically footing all the bills for the band.
He's trying to get the band up off the ground.
I got what you're saying, but stuff is expensive in New York. I'm sorry. I'm looking at their apartment and all of that. It's not like they live. It don't look like she live in the hood. She lived in the gentrified area of Harlem. So that's expensive.
Oh,
so it's not like she living somewhere. They live in the city.
Larry,
I'm my wheels is turning that way.
Okay, Larry, support the brothers because you know some women swear us men don't have big dreams. We don't have aspirations. We don't want to do nothing. And you clearly have a brother who is driven. He's got an MBA, and now he has bigger aspirations he wants to achieve. Help us out, Big Larry.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that if they weren't married, I would say he should leave her ass because she is a gold digger. And I'm going to explain why. Because when they started talking, she didn't realize her language was giving her all away. What she said was, when he was talking to her about his dreams and about not understanding her, she said, I didn't marry so-and-so. I married a private equities manager, not a broke Jodeci manager.
That's what she said.
She didn't say, I married you because I love you. I didn't marry your name. She said, I married a private equities manager. So that's she revealed herself right there, saying that the first and foremost primary thing she wanted from this man was money. And she said it. You robbed me of financial stability. And I agree, Moochie. I looked at that apartment and I looked at it and I realized she couldn't afford that.
How is she a gold digger and she got her own career?
I realized she
How was
couldn't
she a
afford.
gold digger?
Hold on, I'm about to explain it.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm about to explain it. She could not afford that apartment, that apartment or condo without him. The fact that he was a private equity, I can tell you right now, there is almost no job that she could have done in there unless she was also a private equities manager that was going to make as much money as him as a private equities manager. The fact that they have that place, it was because he was a private equities manager making that kind of money. And so the thing that also really, really upsets me is that women always talk about it's our money when the man is making the money, but the moment she starts having to put in some money, then it's always this thing of the women start talking about my money, and that's just bogus. It's either your money together or it's your money to part always. You can't have it one way when you have to put in the money, and another way when he's doing it. It doesn't get to be what's yours is ours and what's mine is mine. You don't get to have it that way. That's not how marriages work.
Okay.
You know?
Now I got your point.
And she should be. What she really is getting caught up in is now she's being forced to have to contend with the man that she married. What she's been dealing with is the resume that she married. What she has been dealing with is the job that the man had that she married. Now she's being forced to contend with the man that she married. So he's no longer the private equity manager that you married. You don't get to run around and brag to your friends how much money your husband makes, and how it's easy for you to go and blow all kinds of money buying fancy stuff and drinking $22 drinks at fancy clubs without any thought. You don't get to do all that anymore because now you have to contend with the man and not just the job.
So Larry, there's a term they use in football, my ladies. They say that no matter how much baggage an athlete has, if he is good, they'll tolerate anything. The minute he can't catch a football, throw a pass, they'll get rid of you. And that's what it seems like she's doing to this brother.
Yeah, but he's not, to me, he didn't even give her a warning about the money. To me, I have a problem with that.
I do have a problem with that. I do have a problem with that.
The wrong way. I don't see her as a gold digger. I see her as kind of like having a selfish moment.
No, I see her as gold digger because she didn't marry him for him. She didn't marry him for loving him. She married him because he had a good job, because he was a private equity manager, because he was going to provide her with financial stability. That is the definition of a gold digger. The fact now that he's not able to give her all of that is where now she has a problem, because if he still had all that money and was still spending all his time dealing with this band, she wouldn't care if he was never there with her. Because she would be fine. She'd be like, whatever, as long as I can still have all my money, if I can still afford my red bottoms and my fancy clothes and going out with my friends every night. And maybe if she stopped going out with her friends every single night, everything we've seen in here, morning, afternoon, night, she's out with her girlfriends, and she spent more time working on her marriage, maybe her marriage wouldn't be falling apart.
Well, wasn't he out of town?
He was? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was in the beginning.
Oh, maybe he was on tour. Maybe he was on tour with the band trying to get that career together. So
he's been out of town. He comes home, and instead of being with your man, you're out morning, noon, and night with your girls. You're out there on all four knees, up there bucking your ass and freaking in the club instead of home with your man.
That was the other week. That wasn't this.
No, that was last week. That was last week. But this week, she still went out and got drunk in the middle of the day.
Look, she left because she was pissed off. I get it. Like I said, she had her selfish moment.
Me and Larry both have been married for a decade, and we know about these ebbs and flows in relationships. As a matter of fact, me and Larry should start a segment giving relationship help from two brothers married to two powerful women, and the brothers is just as powerful. That's what we should.
See, here's the thing. You need to make sure that you don't marry someone who is selfish and a gold digger. My wife is not that. My wife makes more money than I do. Flat out. She does. She always has. My wife is brilliant. She is an Ivy League educated Black woman with multiple degrees. She makes more money than I do. And I accept that. Not a big deal, but it's not like I'm broke. I was making good money, and then I lost my job. and I was down in the dumps. And then I got another job, and then I started making decent money, and that job went away too. And then all of a sudden, I started doing the YouTube thing. That thing blew up on me too. But what my wife continued to tell me to do is keep going at it, keep doing your thing. I got this. Keep doing it. You know.
Yeah.
And there was a time where before this channel, where I said, I think I might just quit all this shit because I don't know. Maybe I should just go find a job. Maybe I should just go work for the government or something. And she was like, go ahead and give it a year or two and see what you can do. Give it a year. If the channel's growing, you keep giving it more time. What you don't want to do is find someone who's selfish as fuck and is going to sit up there and say, I can't deal with this. I'm paying all the bills. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And then when you finally do blow up, your relationship is so damaged that all the one person is thinking about doing is leaving, because they're like, I have the opportunity now to leave, so I'm going to leave. And then that person, then the other person's mad, thinking I supported you through all this, and now you're leaving me. But you didn't really support them because you made their fucking life miserable during the whole time.
Yeah, but my point is this: you discussed every point, every step, and that's why everything worked out so well for you. He didn't do that.
That we know of.
If we going by what happened in that whole conversation,
okay,
to me, he didn't do that.
I'll give you that.
She was just going to talk about a lot of stuff.
This is what we do know, Mooch. We do know that she's always complaining and threatening to leave the relationship, which might say that they've had these discussions before, because that's what her friend said.
That's what her friend says, yes.
Yeah, so her friend said. So, but we'll move on beyond that.
Nita was trying to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nita. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was just trying to say that as far as I know, I thought marriage was a business. It's a business. When we get there and Mad Day comes, we splitting up money. We not splitting up love. You know what I'm saying? So from the olden days, from marriages were arranged, marriages are businesses. It's turned into love for some people. Does it work? Does it not work? And what I do know is what I'm thinking is that she might have been good with it. She had to be good with it if he even started it. But that should get old fast. Being the breadwinner and carrying everything and being a mule, that is not fulfilling either. And it's not fair to a woman for you to be out here chasing your dreams and I'm up here doing everything else in order to make this for you. You know, when we signed up to marriage, that wasn't what you presented to me. Like she said, she gave his job title because he doesn't have a job. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that she was saying it like she was a gold digger, but when you marry somebody as a woman, you want somebody that's going to be able to provide. I mean, if you're marrying a man, awesome.
I would agree with you if this were the 1930s, but it's not.
No.
And if you're talking about women marrying someone who's and his primary job is to provide, then women need to get their ass up out the workforce so there's more jobs for men so they can do exactly that. But in a world where women work and have jobs that are just as high paying as men, then the dynamic shifts.
It shifts.
You don't get to live in a world anymore where you say you need to be all of this while at the same time you're out there working. You don't get to say, I'm a doctor and I'm going to go to the hospital and put in 12-hour shifts, and then at the same time tell your husband that he needs to be also this, I make $180,000 a year, so you need to make $181,000. Otherwise, you're not providing for me.
Right.
That's that kind of bullshit that people get on. That's the stuff that people deal with, and that's a big problem, not just in our community, but in all communities. And that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of people. In fact, that's one of the reasons now why I think we have a majority single, country. People are just like, a lot of the men are like, fuck it, why do I want to get married? If women are going to act like this, why do I want to get married? I can have my friends, my boys for companionship. And when I need some physical intimacy, I'll just go pick up a chick. I'll go to the bar, I'll go hang out, or I'll go grab that one chick that just really liked me and I really don't care. I'll go hang out with her and get my ego stroked, and then I'll bounce out and go back home.
But Larry, to your point, a lot of women, I don't know if they was up here and we read statistic, but African-American women lead the nation in higher education. African American women.
I remember that line.
And if you look at it like that, based on a lot of the things Larry just said, a lot of those women do have it in my mind. This guy has to be exactly where I'm at. His credit's got to be good. He's got to be making six figures, and it ain't that many six-figure jobs going around. So that contributes to people being single too. I'm not going down with the person that I marry. I'm not going to take a risk on some dude who's a high school teacher, or some dude who's a high school coach, or some dude who's a tennis instructor. They're not going to do that. So that's another issue we're having with this single thing. And I just think that, yes, marriage has a business aspect to it, but marry someone who you can trust, you get along with, and you can grow together. That's how I look at it.
See, I don't want any of that. And this was I didn't get married till I was 35, right?
Right.
And I did not want any of that business aspect bullshit in my relationship, because I can tell you right now, the last thing I dated a girl before I met my wife who was very much like that. And the last thing I wanted to do was be with someone like her, because it was always about money, and it was always about like, okay, well, we went out, I paid last time, so you paid this time. And then it was something where it was like, okay, well, you know, I know that's your time to pay, so I'm gonna go to some fancy. We're gonna go to some fancy restaurant that costs $400 or some shit, and it's just like, you know, and she, you know, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, well, it's time to pick. It's like we're gonna go out. I'm gonna pick a place to eat, and she thinks I'm being cheap because I want to go to Tommy's and go eat a chili burger instead of going to some fancy ass restaurant. Well, guess what? I like fucking chili burgers, and I like double doubles, and I like all that. I like regular shit. So for me, I don't need to go out to some fancy restaurant and eat lobster and all that stuff. That's a treat to me. That stuff is not something I want to eat every day. I'm not trying to get fucking gout, you know? So
now let me give you guys a story so that we can move on after this. In my ex before my wife, that I dated this girl off and on 10 years. She was your typical Hollywood black chick, looked just like Keisha on The Shy, and she wasn't that bright. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that. She wasn't that bright, and she wasn't driven. Her only claim to fame in the world was that she was hot. And I tried my best to stick with this girl. She was hot and she loved the club. When I graduated college and I started making my money, I catered to the whole, I'm the man, you the woman, you know, take care of the house. You ain't got to work. I'm giving you $2,000 a month just to stay here as a fiance. You ain't got to do nothing. I'm here to tell y'all that shit got old. And when I say it got old quick,
like what Nita was saying,
but here's the problem. She wasn't cooking. She wasn't cleaning. Her ass stay in bed until all the soap operas go off. I get home from work at 3 p.m. She just getting up asking me, am I ready to take her shopping? And I don't care how good you is in bed. For me, that wasn't enough. Right. In my heart, I wanted me a working woman. I wanted a woman who was driven, kind of similar to the way I'm driven. And when I get home, if you've been off all day, you ain't about to ask me if I'm going to take you shopping. You about to say, what can I do for you, husband? Can I rub your feet? I've got you dinner prepared. All that kind of stuff. So, I mean,
and this is the thing with that on this show. It wasn't like this dude was sitting around all day smoking blunts and playing the Xbox. This nigga was working. He was working. He was working.
He wasn't taking her car, dropping her off at work, and then going hanging with the boys all day.
Right,
and possibly having chicks in the car.
Burning all her gas up and bringing back an empty tank. He wasn't doing that. This brother was working.
We don't know what he was doing. They never showcased it.
That's a good point. We don't know. So
to leave him, he's doing something.
We'll see. I can't wait till they play this out because I want to see where this brother's gonna go. But now I got to get y'all on this. So now we in the club. Moochie, we back to you. We in the club. Homeboy reveals that he's got him a husband. He's showing her the wedding. He's telling her she need to let her hair down and all that before she get married. When we don't need nobody to tell this chick that. She already doing that with Community P. And as we're getting through this thing, this chick right here, her coworker, somebody done gave this chick a Molly. And Lord, she goes to save us. Now this shit right here was funny as hell. I was laughing at this. So she goes to take this girl home, and as she's going out, she gets a text from homeboy saying, "Too late, go home." All while this right here further made me think that homeboy would screw Mr. IPO. Moochie, break down this scene for me in the club.
I was laughing at the girl that got the Molly.
You started playing the funny music.
She was like, I thought I took an Altoid.
She started telling the girl she's so hot, she's so beautiful.
Oh, and her skin is so soft.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Now, like I said, I feel like I wish I would have got his name. He was going along to get along, this dude, and he was going along to get along, and the client just wants to let his hair down and have a free night. And when Ola told her to stay where she's, don't too late, go home. I don't even think she felt bad about it.
Right.
She was like, oh, like she looked shocked, but then she was like, okay, whatever. I mean, she took the girl home, but it was too late. Yep.
And you see how she's stringing her fiance along the same way Emmett Daddy was stringing along his homeboy, "I'm on my way." You still in the club.
And not only that, she got the phone call from Chris, the booty call.
Yeah, I saw that.
The community dude.
I saw that. Lord, Nita, take it away. Take it away, Nita.
She'll probably end up with community team that night because she got some free time. You know what I'm saying? Got some free time on her hands. But yeah, that whole scene, like the Molly thing, was totally funny. I was so here for that. I just really didn't see the need for her to go there because she was already preoccupied with this girl here, and she wasn't really working with the IPO man. Like she could have just went to the thing, just like we said earlier. She should have just left from that dinner.
Yep.
It wouldn't have been no problem. But the thing is that she already is questioning in her heart whether or not she needs to get a little bit more experience, just dating. And so I think that's what is really going on. It's like that community ping that screwed up her little head a little bit. And she's like, damn, what else am I missing out on? I feel like I might be missing out on something. And I think that not to say that she doesn't have a good catch, but I think when you're in your 20s and you're in college, that is the time that you find yourself and you date around and you talk to different people. That way you know what you like, you know what you don't like, and stuff like that. So she's missing out and she's having that feeling. So that's what's driving her action. So you see her playing him, stringing him along and doing all that stuff. It's because it's just, delaying the inevitable.
Gotcha. All right, Big Larry, take the wheel, my man. And Nita, to your point, I think that varies from person to person. While my ex was everything you said, she had a good man in me, but all she wanted to do was club, turn up, and screw everybody. And my wife, on the other hand, went straight through college, straight through high school, straight through med school, ain't dating nobody. And we've been married for a decade. Not a problem. She ain't even need all that. But
she was focused.
Yes, right. She was focused. She was focused.
She seems like she was focused and she knows what she wants.
Right. That's it.
She knows she got a good catch.
Right. And my ex knew she had a good catch because when I seen her 2 years ago, she was begging, wishing that I was her baby daddy. But Larry, take the wheel.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of those things where this dumbass chick, she's gonna get up there and she's gonna mess around with the community peen. She's gonna find out that she has an STD and passed it to her boy or her fiance.
Oh no!
Or she's gonna get pregnant by the community peen. Or she's gonna get pregnant by him, and then he's gonna leave because what else would you expect? And then they're gonna turn around and say that he ain't shit because he's gonna be heartbroken, but he's a doctor, so he's gonna be focused and get back and bury his head in his job. As we know, oftentimes with doctors, because they spend so much time in the hospital, they end up hooking up with the people they work with. So he's probably gonna meet some white girl that works with them, and then they're gonna turn around and say, "Oh, see, niggas ain't shit. He just went and got himself a white girl." No, what happened is he had himself a black woman that he was trying to marry, and you went and literally fucked him over.
Damn, you don't put your track shoes on and ran a mile.
And so,
hey, he can run today, baby. He can run today because I knew my brother was gonna preach for us good black men. I knew he was gonna stand up for the good black men out here. Keep preaching, brother.
I feel like she is making a bird move, though. She is carrying on like a chicken.
All of them. There's there's only one of them. The only one of these of this crew I like right now is Sandy. The rest of them are all coming off like really just like very self-centered trash people. Like there's like if I had met any one of these girls, I would be like, damn, you're fine. And then after 5 minutes of talking to him, I'll be like, yeah, I'll pass. Thank you. No.
Well, I ain't gonna say I would pass if they let me get the draws and keep it moving.
Fine. 5 minutes after you get the draws, I'll pass. Because that's what these are the kind of chicks that you meet, you smash. They seem like they have all their shit together until you get to know them, and then they're up there. Then they're up there at 45, wondering, why can't I find a good man? Men ain't shit. I'm gonna go find me a white dude because black men ain't shit. No, it's not that black men ain't shit. You are fucked up, and you need to get your stuff together. You can't be selfish and neurotic and all the other craziness and expect that someone's just gonna want to be with you.
And you have to give the right guy the right opportunity.
Right.
Some of y'all standing up here think y'all need to be with NBA ballers, and honey, that wig ain't on too tight. I'm just saying.
It might be too tight. That's why they making the wrong decisions.
Oh my goodness, Nita, you get this one next coming to you. So this is the scene where they're getting old girl out of there because she is toe up from the flow up. Meanwhile, while they're getting her out of there, your girl, that thing itching, it's smoking, it's burning, it's leaking. And she goes outside, hops on the bike with Rico Suave from France, Colin. Then she gets in his bed, feels his greasy ass head, hears him say cock instead of dick, and says no thanks. Nita, sum it all up for us.
That scene was a mess. And you remember at the bar, which one said, was it Sandy said that white men are fleshier?
Sandy said that.
Oh my God, she is so right. I'm just leave it at that.
Okay.
I think with
I can't.
That particular, the fact that he had that little mirror, like she already seemed like she only messed with black men. Like it kind of freaked her out. Like, he was using a white like cock. Then he was like had the head gel. It was like everything was like disgusting her. But I was like, she got a mid-stroke. I don't know about that. I would have got mine.
She couldn't continue after that.
Yeah, she couldn't do it.
She couldn't continue. Once she heard the word cock in his
she going back to black men.
Oh my Lord. Larry, jump on it.
Look at herself in the mirror, like, I'm really gonna take this.
Take it.
I'm really gonna take this.
And then did y'all remember that joke she had about Harriet Tubman was looking at her, telling her she need to get back on the Go for it, Larry.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, was before the scene, what's her name? Renee, before the scene with her husband, where she just went off on the deep end. I actually liked her. She was one of my favorite characters on there because she was crazy. She was wild. She had those great facial expressions. I liked her personality. And then I just realized, oh, she's just a trash human being. And I can't get down with that. And then Ella, sorry. She's just
Dora Milaje.
She's just, no, I'm not going to call her Dora Milaje. Dora Milaje wouldn't disrespect themselves like that.
They wouldn't, but she looked like it.
She's just pitiful. She's just literally. I mean, she's just jumping from one dude to the other because she's what? Because she's heartbroken. Is what? Some black dude who had a career left to go do something in his life, and now he's back, and you're so trying not to have sex with him that you're willing just to go fuck anything else. You grab some dude that you have absolutely no interest in, and I forgot the Asian dude's name. But you have absolutely no interest in him, but you're so desperate to not go to your ex, you decide to go home with him and have sex with him on his mattress on the floor with all of his sneakers all around, and then he can't even get it up, you know? And then you go with this dude, and then you go ahead and you sleep with a bartender, you know? I mean, it's just, come on now. I mean, it's one of these shows where it's just like, I really wanted to like these ladies, and I have been left not liking but one of them.
But Larry, don't you feel like these chicks are a little too old for this?
Definitely. If this were like, and that's part of the problem too.
I wanted to know that last week how old they was. Remember, I was 35. Like, are they in their 20s or are they
35?
They got to be like their 30s. Somebody said specifically that they were 35, and they all went to college together. So I'm assuming that they are all the same age range. Okay. Ella looks young though. I mean, I'm not saying that she is, but she looks young. But she's black. That's right. She's gonna look the same age until she turns 60, and then one day overnight she'll age. Okay, Benjamin Button, I got you. I feel you. Moochie, it's on you now. The ball's in your court, Moochie. Talk about the cock.
Like I said, once she heard, oh, take this cock.
Oh my goodness!
Like what?
Like is we on the episode of Game of Thrones? What the fuck?
Yeah. Where was he from? Because they said where he was from, but I didn't catch it.
I thought it said Switzerland or something.
Okay. Oh, she was so turned off when you left in mid-stroke.
Yeah, man.
She didn't even put her shoes on.
She didn't put on nothing. She just wrapped herself in the coat. Shoes on. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, she was too through. I mean, she should have been through right here. This one she should have been through. You know, you about to ride on this man little French scooter. You should have been through right there, but you know, it is what it is. It is. So this is one of those things again. This is what I've said all the time. I said if some white dude shows up, he can have a pair of busted, dirty New Balance and a ripped college sweatshirt. And black women will be like, oh, that's cool. I'm down with it. A black dude shows up looking the same way, and they will not give him the time of day and will talk all kinds of shit about him and say he's a broke-ass Negro and everything else. You know, there are two different distinct standards for white men and black men with black women. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, the dude's a broke bartender driving a moped, you know? But Larry, he has aspirations. He has dreams. To do what? We don't know anything about his aspirations.
I don't even think he was hearing that wrong the way he said it.
Oh.
He just came to this country like.
This dude came to this country. He's here for 5 years. They asked how long he's been. He's been for 5 years. You're still a bartender. Right. He might be in college. Come on now, college is 4 years.
On a visa.
College is 4 years. You come here, you go to college for 4 years, you graduate your 5th year, you should be working in whatever job field you want to be in. Well, the first year when he got here, he probably had to work on getting used to the American culture before he went to college. It wasn't like dude was from China. It wasn't like he was from Uzbekistan. The dude was from an English-speaking country. He's from Netherlands, man. I thought he was from. Is that where he said? I thought he was from. I thought he's from Australia or something. No, man.
I didn't catch where
I don't know, but I feel you on that. Now, the dude's from a Western country. I mean, it's not like he had a whole bunch of adjusting to do. Yeah. All right. This is the last scene, my people, and then we will all be getting on up out of here. The girls meet all up to talk about the events that they have gone through. And at the very end, we get old Whitney saying, I think I'm not going to get married. Larry, it's on you, my brother. You get to start it. She should have been saying that. She should have been saying that to her fiance before they went and started spending all this money on all this stuff for the wedding. You know? Okay. I mean, that's what he should have been. But it's unfortunate because, I mean, dude's sitting up there, he's about to get his heart broke because she just couldn't make a decision earlier. She couldn't just say, hey, I need some time to go work on myself, or I need some time to do whatever. Instead, she wants to go ahead and think, okay, this is going to be the perfect life. But I will say this. I'm glad that she's doing it now. I'm glad that she's doing it now and she breaks up, but I'm glad she does it before they get married, because it's really messed up when people have these doubts and are not sure. Then they get married and they run around cheating and having sex with all kinds of people because they never got to feel like they got to soil the royal oats. And instead they go out there and do it after they're married. So I'm glad that she's having this internal conversation, and now it looks like an external conversation with her friends. And I look at this again, thinking about how much time they spend together. They all need to go back to their damn men. Maybe they wouldn't have all these problems. They're there. Look at them. They're all there in the morning. They're with each other at night. I mean, when do they have time to spend on their relationships?
Moochie, I pass the torch to you. Are these women not spending enough time in their relationships? I mean, for a minute there, I thought they was in church. Look at that stained glass. That's what I thought.
feel like Renee should have went home and tried to talk to her husband.
Yeah, I
feel like that. But I did have a question about black porn versus white porn.
Oh, God.
Look, I'm gonna take it, dear.
What's your question, Moochie? We want to know what's the question.
What do y'all watch? Or do you?
I'm diverse.
I don't generally watch porn where it's just only white people.
Right.
But you know, it's interesting. They brought and from somebody who is as a photographer and a filmmaker, it's interesting something that they brought up where they said one of the problems I have with black porn is the production value is so low. And it is one of the things that I hate about when you look at adult movies with black people where black people are producing it. Generally, the production value is complete and utter shit. And I'm like, why don't you? I mean, go buy a nice camera and some nice lights. It'll cost you a couple grand. You only have to buy them once.
Larry,
you can shoot everything in 4K. Nice.
Larry, minorities are behind, my brother, and that ain't the only gripe I got about them. Why they always sound like they playing music from Kaya and shit? I mean, it be the most good booger music I ever heard in my life. And I guess I could pick on the white people because all they songs be bound chicka bound bound. But I'd rather hear that than to hear that Kaya deep hood. Deep in the track, man. Nita, take the wheel. You get the last crack at this.
But you know, it's funny. They also do stupid stuff like dudes be in there wearing Timbos wearing knee pads and shit. I'm like,
knee pads?
That's for real.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Not only to be in there with the Timbos, they had their socks pulled up to their knee. Why the hell you got on Timbs with your socks pulled up to your knee? Like, bro. Bruh, your production value is horrible too. Need to take the wheel.
They be having bullet wounds in it.
I agree with about the rapper's homes part.
Oh my God, boy.
I prefer white because most of the time, like you said, it's not purely white. It'll be a Latino in there. It'll be a black person in there. But the quality is better and they're freakier to me.
Okay.
And the production value is good. They be really having real storylines.
Nita said, I don't want to just see that. If I go to the movies, I need to see a script.
You want a storyline, right?
Right.
Not just come in and then they get it on, right?
Right.
I just want them to stop filming something that looks like it's supposed to be played on Emmett's dad's VCR. You know?
Exactly.
Don't make it that look like it's supposed to be played on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, technology has gotten way better since Ron Jeremy.
I can tell you right now, this is my iPhone. I can film a higher quality video with this than what they're making.
Yeah.
You know?
It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
I guess I picked a good question then.
all in the frame.
Right.
It look like a roach was cold.
You know what?
I mean, you know, you don't even have to, like some of these dudes you see them, they look like they're just in their random apartment. They got dirty dishes in the background and stuff. I'm like, look, you do this. Do this. Take $100. Go get yourself an Airbnb and go film in somebody's nice house.
Right. Or something.
Done.
Or something.
You know?
Right. Right.
And if you're cheap, just line up like 2 or 3 actresses so you can film multiple scenes in the house in the same day. You shoot one in the backyard, you get another one in the kitchen, one in the living room, one in the bedroom. You got all kinds of set. I mean, you step your production up.
Poolside, if you get the right Airbnb, I mean, you can change up the game if you do it right. But ladies and gentlemen, this conversation went way left. And
that was Moochie who asked about the porn. That was Moochie bringing that up.
See, this is exactly what you get with us, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to get crazy, and we will all be back tomorrow for more crazy to talk about the Godfather of Harlem, 9 p.m. tomorrow night, Wednesday. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe to everybody's channel. Help Moochie get her numbers up. Help Nita the Dita get her numbers up. And if you want more of the living legend Larry, check him out too. Till that next Sex is Hell video.
Also, before you go, we're going to Nita's channel to talk about polls now. So if you want to talk about polls, we're going there.
Go to their channel right now to catch up with polls, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9.
Peace out.
Peace.